This podcast is part of the Big Heads Media Podcast Network. For more great podcasts, head over to bigheadsmedia.com. Hi there, folks, and welcome to The Dark Passenger, a podcast within a podcast, sub-podcast of TV Tuners, brought to you by TV Tuners. I'm your host, Swanson. With me, as always, is my co-host, and a guy who's suspicious about my behavior.
What the fuck, Swanson? You're always recording this podcast. And talking about indie comedians and shit. I guess you don't really do that on the pod anymore.
With us, as always, of course, our other co-host and sister who's trying to get out of being a fake sex worker, Kiore.
Yeah, I'm in this show. I talked to Dexter, and he's like, hey guys.
Bold move to just describe the character instead of doing an impression.
Also, her name is Deborah, so she could conceivably be called Dee Dee.
For a second, I thought you were going to bring up Everyone Loves Raymond.
Deborah. Yeah, it's funny because I did say that to myself when watching this episode, even though I already knew what her name was.
Now, do you guys find it weird that Dexter's catchphrase is, hey guys?
Hey guys!
Hey guys, Dexter here. Time for another murder. No, it totally fits his character. Because he's trying to seem like a normal person.
Imagine how off-putting Dexter's YouTube channel would be.
Well, because it would gravitate between him being like, look at the blood splatter on this crime scene. And like, him being like, another murder today. The city's full of filth, and I'm gonna clean it up.
And the murderer wants to play.
The murderer sent me a doll, and it's time to play. I'm gonna play a little game. Oh, Jigsaw versus Dexter. That would have been a thing.
Like, would like Jigsaw capture Dexter, and he has to like get out, or would he be hunting Jigsaw down? Who like?
I don't know. That's good because it could go either way. I like the idea that Dexter wakes up in one of Jigsaw's like rooms, and Jigsaw's like, "Let's play a game," and Dexter's like, "Okay," and just like smiles. And Jigsaw's like, what the fuck?" I really should have read up on this dude's psychological profile.
He's like, "Do you appreciate life?" And he's like, Dexter thinks about it. He's like,
I suppose.
Yeah?
He's like, yeah, I mean, like, my own.
Okay. What about other people's lives?
No, not really. It's like, you see, Jigsaw, I don't have feelings. That's pretty fucked up, man. Even I have feelings. Jigsaw has feelings.
Anger, hatred. Anyways, do you want to get out? Do you want to get the key?
You want to go grab a sandwich or something? Just go have a good time. And then Dexter kills him. Yeah, that's what would happen. Saw v Dexter. Let's do it. Make it happen.
I want to see that movie. I want like a 12-minute movie where that happens.
An OVA.
Yeah, the perfect length.
Comes as a little bonus for getting the season box set.
Of Saw?
Yeah. No, of Dexter.
You get the 12 movie box set of Saw.
Oh, God.
I don't know if that's how many Saw movies there are, but it's got to be close to that.
I want to see a 12-episode Netflix series about Saw Origins.
I think they already did Jigsaw Origins.
They did?
Not as like a TV show, but I think there was a movie that was like the Origins.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Why
Saw
wouldn't they?
Zero.
Yeah, yeah, something like that. Anyway, yeah, welcome to our the Dark Passenger, our Dexter podcast, all about the show Dexter.
Starring Michael C. Hall.
That's right, Michael C. Hall, who
was in absolutely nothing else that we care about.
Well, he was in 6 Feet Under, so yes, you're correct.
Oh, I guess. I guess you're right.
Yeah, he was in the. He followed up. This is his follow up to 6 Feet Under. The show had ended like a year before this.
And this looks and sounds like it was filmed when that show started.
Yeah, true.
What's up? Yeah.
I mean, this is like a 15-year-old show. It's been a long time since I watched this first episode, and I was curious how well it held up, and it was. It looks like it's from.
It looks like it's from the 90s. That's all I'm saying.
To me, it looked like early 2000s, not 90s. But
it looked sort of like it looked sort of like the beginning seasons of like CSI. Like that has that early 2000s like procedural look to it. But also, there's like weird camera moments where it just would like zoom in on someone's face.
Yeah.
There's like random POV shots that do like nothing. A lot of weird camera work in this show is what I'm getting at. But
yeah, if you watch like early HBO, late 90s HBO, you'd probably notice a lot of parallels in the production and photography.
Yeah, that's true.
It's like it's like weird camera work, but not interesting camera work.
Correct. Yeah, it's just like they're making stylistic choices because they feel like they need to because they're on a cable show.
Yeah, season 1 of Sopranos energy.
Yes. So yeah,
but we can't talk about the show yet.
Well, that's what I was going to say. We're talking about the show, but really we got some other things we want to talk about. Namely, hey, listen, you're listening to our podcast. Maybe you got some clips, comments, questions, foresights, otherwise. Well, why not send those over to our email address, and we'll read them live on the podcast. That's right. You can send them to our email address at tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. What's the email address, Kiorain?
TV guys at yahoo.com.
That's right. You can be like Gio, who sent us this email. When Stairmaster's not on screen. Well, bad news, fellas. Turns out Akira Kurosawa is dead. So, who should we get to direct the TV Tuners movie? Or TV Tuners the movie?
Michael Mann.
Gio.
It's Michael Mann.
I mean, yeah, that's good. What would I feel like he would make the movie, like, the movie would be an entirely different experience with Michael Mann behind the directors.
Well, it would focus from my viewpoint leading up to the inevitable confrontation with law enforcement and my untimely demise.
Yeah, that's true. I can't wait for your speech about how you're a fucking podcaster.
These fuckers got no listeners.
You see this microphone? I'm an expert with it.
I just start swinging around my snowball mic like it's a nunchuck. And go down in a hail of gunfire.
See, I was thinking, there's a lot of good options if you're looking for who should direct a TV Tuners movie. Maybe you want like a complex, ultimately it goes nowhere sort of plot. You get Christopher Nolan in there.
No.
Maybe you want like a deeply complex tale of the American dream. Well, why don't you get Martin Scorsese in there? But I'm thinking older than old school. It's time for a comeback for Francis Ford Coppola. Let's get him back in here.
Is he still alive?
He's still alive and he still directs, I think.
Wow.
I think still directs as being like generous, but I think he's making a new movie.
Wow, good on him.
But yeah, let's get the comeback going for this guy because it's been a while.
He's making a film called Megalopolis.
Yes, that's right. And his last 3 films have all been poorly received. Well, probably longer than that. I think maybe his last 4 films.
Does that count the Godfather 3 re-edit?
No, it's everything. I think it's everything after Bram Stoker's Dracula. Is considered poorly received. So it's time for a comeback. That was the year I was born, is when that movie came out. So,
wow.
If David Cronenberg can make a comeback, so can Coppola. Let's do it.
Maybe we should just get David Cronenberg to direct the movie instead.
Oh yeah, come up with some sick, twisted.
That would be the guy to get in my head.
We're like eating a podcast mic, and then we become the podcast mic.
No, it's just scenes of me eating and cooking.
Yeah, Keo, we know you love directors. Who would you pick?
I can name a director.
Oh, okay.
I'm picturing at the very end of the film of Stairmaster eating and cooking. Swanson and I walk in, and we casually ask Stair what he's cooking, and then Stairmaster looks at us, and he didn't have an answer. So we look really alarmed, and we go into the kitchen, and turns out he's been eating televisions this whole time.
Yeah, that's a pretty Cronenberg twist.
We come back, and Stairmaster is a television now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, if Cronenberg's not available, we could get David Lynch. It's been a while since he's done a movie. Just do some twist. He'll do some twisted shit for us.
You better.
Anyway,
every time we talk about Better Call Saul, he's like, "It is happening again."
Yeah. Well, we could get Werner Herzog. What do you think he would do to our? Would it be a documentary or would it be one of his actual directed films?
It would be a documentary, and at the end, he'd be just ask us why, and we wouldn't know. We wouldn't have an answer.
The 3 men continue to podcast even as their audience dwindles.
There were not many to begin with. Now there are none.
They continue to drop the more bonus episodes they do.
Stairmaster has found himself in a deathbed, yet he still continues
to talk about TV shows he doesn't particularly care for.
The deathbed is his mind. The coffin, his brain. Yeah, I think we answered your question thoroughly, Gio, by not actually picking one.
Yeah.
To choose your own adventure.
The real answer was Stair's first answer, which is Michael Mann. All right. Well, thank you for that, Gio. And of course, as always, if you want to have your email read on the podcast, just send it to tvtunerspodcast@gmail.com. But that's not the only place you can find us and comment on the things we do and see what we are talking about. You can go over to twitter.com, free from the toil of Elon Musk.
For now.
I was on Twitter one time and I saw this man posting and he had a bad opinion and I got really mad.
And then you decided to buy the company, but then didn't.
Is he still buying it, or
no?
Did he change his mind?
He officially said he was not buying it. Sometime today, I think.
Can he do that?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah,
but he is very rich.
Yeah, I think he can just cancel it, just like he can act like he doesn't have children.
Legally speaking, probably not. Realistically speaking, probably.
Well, yeah, considering that the people who were on Twitter apparently didn't want him to buy it anyway.
Yeah.
They're probably just
one of whom is
right.
a Saudi crown prince, by the way.
So it's in good hands, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Anyway,
Wait,
you can go over to
Twitter?
Hellscape. twitter.com, and you can go to @TVTuners, and you'll find us there, full of great TV content. Always posting.
We're always strutting our stuff on Twitter.
It's true. And of course, what we also do in that Twitter space is we look for the tweet of the week, the one singular tweet found this week that really encapsulates the whole thing. Stairmaster, what is it?
This tweet comes from Theodore, @Theodore_Dexter, who writes, "Me waiting my turn to tell the restaurant my order, as a picture of 3 baby L's, and the one on the right is going, oh!"
Yeah, they're all wide-eyed.
The other two are just sort of like us.
Yeah, they're wide-eyed. They're staring at presumably a menu.
Yeah, and there's me on the right screeching.
I don't like to wait for food.
I don't like to wait for things either.
You just like immediately, you want it the moment you order it.
I like waiting for other things other than food, but not food.
You just immediately, like, you go to the restaurant, and you're like, where's my food? The moment like a second after you order it.
Well, I don't really ask. I just say, my food isn't here.
Hungry.
Yeah, you go and you track down your waiter. I'm imagining like it's a busy day in the restaurant. You're literally running through people, like running past people just to get to your waiter and be like, "Where's my food?" You corner them.
Well, I just quietly tell them that I don't have my food yet. I'm really polite about it.
I'm waiting.
Keo is polite about it, but he does keep a stack of dollars out and takes $1 away for each mistake.
Oh, fuck you, Keo, you bastard!
For each minute that his food has not arrived, Keo takes away a $1.
You're one rotten cunt, aren't you?
Stare, you're not actually British. You can't say that.
I think I'm a pretty good.
Shove off, Swanson.
I think I'm a pretty good customer.
Yeah, except for that you immediately want your food.
Whenever I walk in, they take notice, which I think is a good indication that they like me a lot.
They fucking fear you, mate.
I don't know why Stare suddenly turned into a butcher, but he does get like that when he's
opportunity
hungry,
called.
Sometimes I'll walk into the kitchen and Stare and be like, "I'm fucking hungry."
I'm just patting my tummy, fucking diabolical in it.
Stare's also said that when he's eating a good meal. That meal's fucking diabolical.
Really, you can call anything diabolical.
The way he does, yeah. It's the beauty of it. Anyway, I'm going to tune in on this tweet. It's a good tweet.
Yeah. It's fucking diabolical, that's what it is.
It's true.
Hard to argue against what you guys are saying right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to try to argue against it.
Okay.
I'm just going to agree.
But you're not going to tune in?
Keo's going to withhold his opinions.
Yeah. An absent vote for Keo Rain.
No, I'm going to tune in on that one.
All right. Well, there you go. At Theodore Dexter. A winner is you. All right. And with all that out of the way, there is one last question to ask before we dig into Dexter. What you guys watched this week? Anything fun? Interesting?
I watched something predictable that
we were just talking about?
We were just talking about, yeah.
What is it?
I saw The Boys.
The Boys!
The lads.
The lads are back in town. The lads are back in town. And now...
And apparently, boys is a term you can apply also to women.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, The Boys came and went, actually. I think we've only talked about it twice on the podcast.
Yes.
A
rare display of restraint.
Yeah, it's true. we'll keep the spoilers non-existent, I guess, and just go. What do you guys think of the season?
I did not like. I feel like now that it's done, it's not as good as season 2 was.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree.
I feel like they.
Yeah.
Spinning the wheels is what I would use to describe it.
Yeah, it felt like by the end of the season, not a whole lot had actually changed, outside of like a couple characters not being there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the only really eventful episode was the last one, I would say.
Yeah.
Everything else was just kind of like, I don't know. Yeah, this was definitely like a season that felt like a setup season, which is not good to have a whole season doing that.
Yeah, it felt like it was, I think unfocused is the big word for me.
I think the only time a setup season ever worked was like the 3rd season of Breaking Bad.
Yeah. I know you don't like it, but I'd argue season 2 of Better Call Saul works for the most part.
Maybe I'll have to rewatch it. Maybe before Better Call Saul comes back.
Well, that is Monday, so.
Uh-oh.
It's coming back.
Just in time. It's weird that The Boys it took The Boys aired pretty much the entire time Saul was gone.
Oh yeah, that was the only time they could get Giancarlo Esposito.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I don't know. It's a shame because it seemed like they had a lot of good ideas for the season. It's just like nothing really came together.
Yeah.
I mean, I still liked it.
I guess I still like it too, but I mean, I'm not disappointed.
Yeah, season 2 was like a high, and this was good.
Like, Hero Gasm was a fun episode.
Yeah, that was a good episode. I would say, I think I mentioned it last time we talked about The Boys, but it does feel like the season was slower, and maybe that hurt it a little bit.
Well, stuff was happening on like the first 3 episodes, and then they sort of got stuck in a rut.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I think that's... We're about to get into spoilers if we go any further, I think.
Yeah, true.
Probably.
I think that's probably all we can really say about it on mic. But I mean, it's still a tune in, obviously. It was a good show.
Yeah.
Good show as always.
I watched it.
It's an official television tuner tune-in.
Yeah. I watched 2 things.
Ooh.
I watched the Terminal List starring Chris Pratt.
Uh-oh. I think I've heard of this, actually.
Yes, on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Christopher Pratt
plays
Pratt, he's the evangelical one of the 3 Chris's.
He plays United States Soldier Man, whose entire squad gets wiped out in a raid gone wrong. And then it turns out that was all a conspiracy, and then they murder his family and try to kill him to cover it up. And now he's got a list of people who've wronged him, and he's getting revenge.
Huh. I mean, you ever get revenge before?
That sounds cool and all. It's just weird that Chris Pratt's the one in the lead.
Yeah, it is weird, but it kind of works. The first 2 episodes are kind of interesting. Kind of reminded me of Bodyguard, because he's questioning his sanity from
I missed that this was a TV show.
Yeah. Oh.
I mean, you might have said that. I just missed it.
No, I did not say that.
Oh. I did assume it was a movie because of Christopher Pratt.
Yeah, he gets his head rattled by an IED, so he's constantly reliving memories and hallucinating people who are dead being there with him. Dang. So, like the first episode, he thinks that maybe everything is as it seems and he's just going insane.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah. And it isn't until like after he killed his first guy that he gets hard proof that there's an actual conspiracy against him.
Dang.
And then later he does some Christopher Dorner shit. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, so I guess it's a light tune-in for me.
TV Tuners is a pro Dorner podcast.
Did nothing wrong. Well, watch the TV shows, you watch the sky, Chrissy boy.
Whoa.
Also, we didn't mention it, but this episode is dedicated both to James Caan and Polly Walnuts.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Christopher Dorner.
Well, every episode of TV Tuners is dedicated to him. This sort of our podcast is in his memory.
Yeah.
But this episode in particular, are those two. He's Polywanus is chuckling somewhere right now.
And I watched another movie. I watched a movie known as Small Soldiers.
Oh no. Oh no. I watched this movie a lot as a kid.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah. This military company buys out a toy company.
Uh-oh.
And they make some action figures with missile guidance microprocessors. And they become self-aware. And this poor kid gets involved in this war between the two tribes of action figures. One of them was just like a G.I. Joe commando type. And the other is like some He-Man monsters known as the Gorgonites.
And Tommy Lee Jones is the bad guy, right?
Yes. He does a parody of the speech from Patton.
Yes. I mean, I didn't recognize what that was as a kid, but I do recognize it now.
And also Phil Hartman's in it.
Oh. Huh.
It's like, yeah, the love interest's dad.
It feels like Phil Hartman really was in everything in the 90s.
Until he wasn't.
Well, yeah. But...
yeah, that film actually does have a dedication to him at the end.
Oh, damn.
Which really bummed me out.
Fun fact I didn't know about this movie. Directed by Joe Dante, director of The Gremlins.
Yeah. And Stan Winston, of course, did the action figures puppetry. It's fucking amazing.
Wild stuff. So does it hold up? Is it good?
It's alright. The screenplay needs a little work.
Uh-oh.
It's not the greatest movie about toys come to life.
What would you say is the greatest movie about toys come to life?
Chucky.
Okay.
I don't know. The Indian in the Cupboard.
I mean, I appreciate your restraint in not saying Toy Story.
I guess we need to do a watch of all the Toys Come to Life movies.
Alright, someone can buy us
also,
a copy
David Cross is in this.
Another guy who seemed to be in just any random thing he wanted to be in the 90s.
Yeah, that seemed really early for David Cross to be in movies. Since he's like in the first scene, that kind of sets up the entire plot, too.
Is he like the...
He's like the sensitive toy company guy who just wants the kids to learn.
Boo.
Yeah, boo. No good.
And also they got the cast of Spinal Tap to voice the Gorgonites.
Huh.
And
I missed that as well. I think.
Yeah. Well, when you're a kid, you don't read the credits. And they got the cast
also,
of...
I didn't know what Spinal Tap was as a kid.
Yeah. They got the cast of the Dirty
I don't read the credits.
Yeah. Kid doesn't care about people.
He only recognizes people if they're from, like, The Wire, or
Dragon Ball Z.
Bad, or Dragon Ball Z. He's like, hey, that's Goku.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, Phil Hartman at one point says, I think World War II was my favorite war. Classic.
I mean, doesn't Goku kind of stand out when he's in other shows other than Dragon Ball?
Like when he showed up on Better Call Saul.
Yeah, it was real weird to make him Howard's brother.
I was a little bit disconcerted by that reveal.
Howard, is this guy bothering you? Jimmy, I'd like you to meet my brother, Goku.
Watch out, these cousins seem dangerous.
Their power levels are off the charts.
Alright. Yeah, so that's all I have to say about Small Soldiers. Go watch it or don't.
I only have one other thing to discuss that I saw. I watched a movie called Blood Simple.
Oh, not Elvis?
I did not watch Elvis, no. I actually thought about going to see it, but I did not. I have not done so.
So what is this? Blood Simple? Not Blood,
Blood
Symbol?
Simple. The Blood Simple is the debut for the Coen brothers.
Whoa.
Also watched it for a thing I'm doing about. I'm going through the entire filmography of the Coen brothers. So I'm starting with their debut. It was an independent film that they got the idea from Sam Raimi, who they worked on Evil Dead with, to just shoot a trailer for a movie and then show it to people and be like, "Wouldn't you want to see this movie? Why don't you pay for it?" And it worked. They got like $1 million to do this movie. It's it's like extreme darker than you would expect, because most of their work after this is like kind of whimsical and quirky. But this is like
No Country for Old Men.
Well, that's way later in their filmography. But yeah, I'm thinking of other things. But this is a pretty dark, gritty noir film where the neat trick is that nobody in the plot, like in any of the characters, knows everything that's going on, but the audience is completely aware of everything that's going on the entire time.
They call that dramatic irony, sir.
All of their brutal mistakes. It's the simple story of a bartender finds out that his wife is cheating on him with a person who works for him, and decides that he's going to get them killed by hiring a private detective. Spoilers, the private detective decides that killing one guy is easier than killing two, so he kills that guy, frames his wife for the murder, and then things get out of hand from there.
Oh. I would have just simply killed no one.
Well, he wanted the money.
Oh.
So he kills the guy and takes the money.
What kind of selfish person is motivated by money?
This guy.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Lauren Visser, played by character actor M. Emmett Walsh. She's wearing a putrid yellow suit, then he's always covered in like flies are always buzzing around him in the hot sun, and he's got this like way of talking, this long southern drawl, and he's always joking. But the last act of the film, he's pretty much like a horror movie villain. It's a good movie. It's on HBO Max. I suggest checking it out if you have that.
I don't.
Well, get fucked. Anyway, that's it for me. And if no one else has anything to say, then forever hold your peace as we talk about Dexter.
Yeah, I'm talking about Dexter.
Yeah. We're here. We're talking about Dexter, the first
night.
episode of Dexter, titled Dexter.
Tonight is the night that I discuss television in the dark.
I'm roaming the streets looking for a new type of podcast.
But I must be careful. I have to test my audio. And make sure my microphone is the proper distance from my mouth.
I have to follow the code of Keo.
Keo's code.
Like, and then there's a flashback where Keo's like, always test your audio. That way you know it's crisp and clear.
And don't talk over your co-host. Unless it's really funny.
Why am I transitioning into a Donald Trump impression?
Remember, folks, don't talk over each other. I never do it.
Always let people finish their thought. They've got important things to say, folks. You gotta be respectful.
And now I'm picturing him doing like a PSA.
Yeah, it's community service. Court ordered.
Remember, folks, drugs are bad unless they're the cool kind. And you know which ones those are.
Imagine that they finished the January hearings.
Yeah, that's a sentence. Yeah. He's doing the drug PSA, and at the end he just starts ranting about how Biden should bring back the Quaaludes. Nobody.
Drugs are okay if you don't know they're in your system. So, yeah, this is Dexter, first episode, titled Dexter. Sort of a Black Sabbath situation.
True.
We get introduced to the titular Dexter. He's just roaming around, looking for someone to murder.
He's stalking someone.
He's cruising around Miami.
He's stalking Ray Donovan.
Yes, that's right. He's stalking Mike Donovan, who is a local pastor who kills children.
That's not nice.
Not very nice. And he takes him to where he dug up the people he's murdered, and he's like, "Take a look at your murders. That's not cool, dude."
No, he dug the bodies up himself and brought them to the shed.
Well, yeah, he found where they were, dug them up, and then brought them to the shed, and then brought the guy there. And then
I assume they were like found by the police and taken to like a graveyard. And then Dexter dug them up for this dramatic serial killer murder.
Oh, yeah, maybe. That's probably true.
That would make the most sense. H.O.
Also, this guy is proof positive why you always got to look in the back seat before you go anywhere.
Yeah, my dad was complaining that like a new car has that feature to warn you if someone is in the back seat when you get in. And he's like, "When are you ever going to need that?"
Listen, that's perfect for me. As someone who's watched too much television and now always looks in the back seat when it's dark.
Yeah, same.
I'm not trying to get Dextered.
I'm not trying to get Michael Myers.
Yes, that's true. That too. Like, the last thing I want is to get into my car. I'm gonna go like grab like a hamburger.
And you hear groovy.
Yes.
Do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do.
Yeah, I'm getting killed by Austin Powers.
Yeah.
I would hate for the last thing I hear to be, "Do I make you Randy, baby?"
I would think that he's harmless. He's not going to do anything to me. And then he starts killing me.
No, he's a trained killer.
Yeah, he has a license to kill.
Yeah, but I'm not doing anything wrong. Why is he at my house? I thought he was just there to delight me.
Wrong address.
Yeah, it's true. He would mix up addresses. Did I get the wrong address, baby?
Yes, you have the wrong location.
Anyway, Austin Powers 4 coming out soon, I bet.
Yikes, stay tuned.
Oh, no one make us watch any of those. No, you know what? No one make us watch anything with Mike Myers in it. Only things with Michael Myers in them.
Well, look forward to our episode on H40 or whatever. H2O.
Oh, yeah.
Resurrection.
What did we watch this week?
Watch Dexter. He's a guy who goes around murdering people. He kills justifiable murders, so other serial killers or killers in general.
And he's trying to take care of his sister Dee Dee.
Yes, that's right.
Mentioned.
I mean, he does technically have a sort of lab.
A murder lab?
Yeah. I would say it's more of a studio.
Dexter's studio.
Where he does art.
Yes, his art. Yeah, so he sedates this guy and then straps him to a table, and he's like, You're gonna die now, buddy. Sorry about all that. Anyway, time to collect your blood."
Yeah, he has like these little glass vials, or not glass vials, like a little microfilm.
Yeah. Of a blood sample. He loves collecting blood. He loves that blood. Can't get enough of the stuff.
Well, relatable.
Yeah. And we get our first flashback. I feel like this first flashback is super random in the way that it comes up in the show. But we get a scene with him and Pa Dexter, where Pa Dexter is like, "You're a sick, twisted guy, and I'm gonna help you be sick and twisted, you little freak." You're a little freak, Dexter.
Dexter, you like killing, don't you? Yes, Dad, I do.
He's like, "That dog was real noisy, Dad." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess it was. I'm gonna have to think on how my son's a little freak boy."
Think about it, and I'll get back to you with my notes.
It's funny too, because later flashbacks, his dad is sort of just giving him notes. "You been killing again, boy? Why you got blood on this stuff still? Supposed to clean that."
Gotta clean up all the blood you put on things.
Which is good advice for everything. You should always clean the blood.
It's true. Yeah, clean all the blood that's on anything.
Gotta get all the blood off, every drop.
Keep scrubbing. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Scrub until the blood is gone. Anyway, we get introduced to his sister, Deborah, who's in what he calls a sex suit. She's working...
A sextoom.
Yeah, she's working Vice, which entails her pretending to be a prostitute. So he's called because of this body, and he's mystified because no blood.
No blood.
No blood.
And he has like a Patrick Bateman business card reaction.
It really is. That's what I was trying to place it, and that is pretty much like a Comic Sans.
Webdings. Incredible.
That would be great. It's just, wow, this font's Comic Sans.
What the? It's 2 skyscrapers and a plane.
The minions are driving the plane. What could it mean? You know what I learned because of that new Minions movie?
What?
In the original, like the first Minions movie, they purposely explained that the Minions were stuck in a cave for the first half of the 20th century. Like,
so they got out. They got in time for Iran Contra, is what you're saying.
They got out in time for that, but they missed Hitler.
Well, that won't stop DeviantArt.
They get out in like the 60s, so yeah, they were around for. They were around for Iran. I think they get out right when Kennedy gets assassinated.
So they were part of the Manson family.
Yeah, probably.
They're like handing directions from the CIA to Charlie.
Yeah, one of them is like making sure that Brian Wilson isn't around. But yeah, I found that to be wild that they purposely explain that the Minions had nothing to do with Nazis, but also they could have been in doing 9/11. They could have done 9/11.
Yeah,
and probably did.
They probably did British colonialism, which killed way more people.
I think they can't canonically were involved with that.
Oh my god. Well, at least it wasn't the Belgian.
I think they also had something to do with Napoleon.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they killed Napoleon on accident.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Minions. What a couple of crazy guys.
Those guys are crazy. They love bananas.
Just like Donkey Kong.
If the Minions came to my house, I'd be really upset.
If the Minions came to my house, I'd be like, it's time to party, boys. Be partying. Not now, honey. I'm partying with the Minions.
I'd be like, time to get up to some schemes and misdeeds.
Yeah.
We'd be scheming and planning things out, planning a plan.
Me and the Minions would be coming up with a plan right now to deal with the Supreme Court.
Whoa.
Now I'm just imagining like the Heritage Foundation being staffed by Minions, writing all the.
I'm just picturing Minions like getting into like the halls of the Supreme Court and like there's like 4 of them like with like a big robe. Like
4 of them stacked on top of each other.
Yeah, that's what I
a
mean.
normal
Like,
person.
I'm happy to be back in office, and I'm happy to appoint the Minion Bob as our new Supreme Court Justice.
Is that what their names are?
I think there's a Minion named Bob.
Is there one named Rob?
No, I don't think. I think that's the only Minion I know, and I'm sure there's someone out there who can correct me on the titles of the Minions.
There's like a very upset person out there who's very mad that Swanson has not properly researched.
Yep,
this
my
discussion
dad.
about Minions.
He's just screaming at the computer right now.
Your dad loves Minions?
Yeah, he eats that shit up.
Are you ready? I got the 3 main Minions names.
Okay.
Kevin.
Oh, I'm not. Okay.
Stuart.
Fucking...
Go on.
And Bob.
Go on.
That's it.
That's it.
Kevin, Stewart, and Bob. Those are the 3 main guys.
Oh, so it's like a Three Stooges. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think Bob is like the curly of the gang.
Okay. All becomes clear now.
So these Minions are goofing off all the time and getting up to misdeeds and mischief?
That's right.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they're And they've
How
been
can they
around
do
since
that?
the beginning of time, Kyo,
But they were locked up for part of it, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, they've always been around, but they end up, like, I guess they end up killing their masters at certain points. Like, they get Napoleon killed while he's in exile in Russia.
And
They kill
Dracula.
Count Dracula. The Pharaoh, I think they kill one of the pharaohs.
I thought that guy invented them, like he made them.
No.
You mean
He's
God?
Yeah. Are you talking about our Lord and Savior?
The Lord in heaven?
The Lord in
Yeah.
heaven who made minions?
The Demiurge.
Yeah, they get stuck in a cave and then they get taken. They come out in 1968. So it is post Kennedy. So it had nothing to do with the Kennedy assassination, as far as we know.
Speaking of pharaohs, did you know that genetic evidence suggests that the pharaoh Osmandius was light-skinned and red-headed?
Oh, interesting.
Interesting. Much to think about. Best wishes.
That really changes my thoughts on Osmandius, the episode of Breaking Bad. Anyway,
What does it change about?
Maybe Osmandius looked like Walter White.
it's true.
Maybe he did the exact same face Walter White did.
When he realized his works wouldn't be looked upon for all
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty upset, personally.
So, Blackbeard is also a former leader of the Minions, by the by.
I don't think he was a redhead.
No, but there were definitely redheaded pirates, right?
Like Redbeard.
Couple.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Yeah, as for Dexter, he would not tolerate any minions, I don't think.
What would he do?
I am a man of precision.
I can't, these minions, they don't think the way I
These
think.
minions, they're creatures of impulse and desire. Something entirely unknown to me.
So what is, I have two lines that I've always remembered from this episode as being funny in a cheesy way. And I want to know your thoughts on them. The first one already happened, which is when he talks about food that he likes in Miami, and he says, "But I'm hungry for something else now."
So dramatic, Dexter.
And my personal favorite line, not in all of Dexter, but in this first season maybe, is the empty box of donuts, and he says, "It's empty, just like me."
Something in the way.
It does sort of feel like his narration does sort of feel like Batman in the Batman.
Yeah, I feel like the writers weren't confident that the watcher would understand this character, so they had to really, really spell it out
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
Like Char in The Origin.
Miami is a city with 20% success rate with murders. Perfect for me. Something in the way. It's just Dexter on a motorcycle for some reason.
Yeah. Seems pretty watchable to me, honestly.
Would it be a better show if they had a rainy car chase between him and the ice truck driver?
Yes.
100% Swanson.
They don't have
you
the
know
budget for that, though.
It's true, yeah. There's no way they could fit a camera inside of an ice truck as it topples over and over again.
And the guy's rolling around going, ah!
Yeah. Anyway, Dexter has marveled that there's no blood that this body has, and it's been cut into pieces. He's like, "Look at the detail on his cuts. It's fine. It's a fine piece of work."
And then he starts jerking off. He has to leave the crime scene to go jerk off.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, hey, where'd Dexter go?
Dexter's jerking
Whenever
it
he's
again.
whenever he's not on screen, people do say, "Where's Dexter?"
It's true. Is there a moment in this episode where there's people where Dexter's not in a scene? I think Dexter's in every scene in this episode.
Yeah, nobody has an interior life except for Dexter.
Which makes perfect sense to me.
We get introduced to a personal favorite character of mine, Dokes, who...
The only normal person.
Yeah, normal.
Well, he's got common sense at least.
Yeah, because he suspects Dexter, but this guy is on level 10 at all times. He comes in, he's like, "Hey, Dexter, you fat fuck! Do my fucking work, you piece of shit!" He's like, "I don't like you. I don't like your stupid... I don't like you. I don't like your jerk-off face. Jerk off."
Why don't you go kill some people?
Dexter's just like mildly amused by this.
Dexter's
really.
like, "I'm sorry about that." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." Now, you guys may remember Dokes, of course, from the meme of "Surprise, motherfucker." Which is...
That's him?
That's this guy, yeah. That comes much later in the show, but...
Far past the point of no return.
Yes. For now, Dokes is just going to be a mild threat to Dexter.
Like a mild inconvenience to Dexter.
Yeah, a mild inconvenience who's just screaming at him every day, and everyone's just like, "That's him, I guess."
We don't understand what your deal is, bro.
Like, his superior officer is just like shrugs whenever he's just like, "Dexter, you little shit."
Oh yeah, Dexter has a boss.
Do they ever have any scenes where where this guy is like not on screen with Dexter, he's trying to explain to somebody why Dexter is like a sicko freak, and they're just like, yeah, shut up.
Not. I don't know if it happens in season 1, but there are sort of.
I don't think so.
But yeah, they're they have a rich history, these two, but we don't need to explain it here. Dexter explains that it's Friday night and everyone's having sex, but he doesn't care for that.
Which is disgusting.
It's rude. I don't do that.
He's got something else to bust. A man's goal.
Yeah. He mentions that he has a girlfriend, and yeah, this part doesn't hold up at all. So he explains that he is dating a girl that his sister knows from a domestic abuse thing that she broke up. And she's not into the idea of sex because she's been assaulted by her former husbands. And Dexter's like, "Perfect for me. No sex. I'm in. Do it.
I'm perfectly healthy and normal.
No sex. I'm in. By which I mean I'm out."
Yeah, Dexter sort of is like sort of a Char-ass-nable figure, I think.
Yeah, but Char gets it
People
wet.
want to. Yeah, but he doesn't feel. I don't think Char really particularly cares about getting it wet.
I'm not putting it anywhere or doing anything with it.
This right here, it's staying right here. Yeah, but he does get horned up when he sees another body that's similar to the one he saw before. And he's just like, "Wow, this guy's real good. He's an artist." Which, listen, I know that like his whole deal is that he's like a blood spatter specialist, so you're supposed to be like, "Oh yeah, well he's really into that." But like, when someone starts saying that a murderer is an artist, I feel like you got to start asking some questions.
Yeah, that sounds like your guy is entering Manhunter territory.
Yeah,
and needs to go on leave.
Yeah, he's entering Will Graham territory, and you need to stop him immediately. But he's like, "This man's an artist. We'll never find him." And then he starts grabbing his girlfriend's leg, and she's like, "Hey, dude, no." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I got turned on by the thought of death."
Yeah.
And she leaves, and he's like, "I don't even understand what happened in this situation."
So wait, this is the scene where he's at the festival, and just coincidentally, there's a murder.
Yeah, there's a murder there.
right across the street.
He's like, "Hey, don't worry, I'm here to look at this murder."
And like the festival's going on, despite
The
fact
festival's
there's a
going on
mutilated
while
corpse.
there's an active murder scene,
There's
not even a
like
mile away.
Chopped up body
Like a
that's
block
visible to
away
the
at
entire
most.
public.
And everyone's just hanging out, partying, getting their rocks off, while a dead body lies here. No blood. So, he tries to, he gives his, like, sister the info to, like, be like, hey, let's pitch this theory. And the lieutenant's like, no, dumb, stupid. Because his theory is that the victim chops them up in extreme cold temperatures to explain it, and that's why there's no blood. And he thinks I think they figure out that he's using some sort of like refrigerated truck.
No, yeah, Deborah suggests the refrigeration.
Yeah. And the
freezer.
lieutenant's like, no.
And Dexter's like, oh, a freezer truck. You should tell the lieutenant that so he can get some brownie points. And she totally drops the bomb at the meeting.
She's like stuttering over her
Yeah,
words.
she sounds like
and,
me.
Yeah, it's how Stair would do it.
Cellular crystallization.
There's also a subplot where Dexter is tracking down this other guy who... This part was very strange to me in terms of how Dexter figures out what this guy's up to. But he records snuff films
goes on, like,
and puts them on the internet.
He goes on like rape.com and just like,
Pretty much. Dexter's
Former
like...
sponsor.
Dexter's like, I'm going to the ultimate rape site on the web. It's like, what? What are you talking about, Dexter? He's like, all the people hang out on this site. The government just lets it happen.
Even the president's here.
I assume it has to be on the dark web, but they don't explain that.
Well, it was 2006, so we didn't even know what the dark web was in terms of like TV writers.
We just assumed rape.com was WW2.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because it's 2006, so you gotta assume that everybody is writing like it's 1996.
Yeah.
Especially for cable TV. And so he goes and finds this guy, this Jaworski, I think is his name, and he captures this dude, and he's like
very easily
just
walks
captures
up
this
to
man.
him and jabs him with the needle.
And it's weird too because they film it like it's going to be like a tense standoff because the guy's like
No.
The guy's like knows Dexter is stalking him, and then Dexter just shows up and gets him. And Dexter has like a manhunter sort of mask on.
He's got a plastic bag on his face. You're about to witness a great becoming.
Yes. Yeah, he's like he doesn't quite do any like do you see? Do you see? But he
I mean, he sort of does.
He does to Mike Donovan in the beginning, I think, more than he does this guy.
I assume he did it off screen.
That's true. But
I assume moralizing is part of the appeal to him.
He captures this guy, and he's like, "Did you kill that lady?" He's like, "I did, and I'd do it again. I have no guilt." He's like, "Good, because neither do I." Murder time.
He literally just announces he has no guilt over it. Like
he's like, "Nothing. I feel nothing." And Dexter's like, "Cool, me either, bud. Time to die." And he's like, as he's chopping up the body, he gets a call from his girlfriend. His girlfriend's like, "I've decided it's good if we fuck." And he's like, "All right, I'll be over to do that thing."
I'm about to experience the tears of time.
That's true. That's what they say it's like. So Dexter is hanging out, marveling at his blood, at the man he killed's blood, and then an ice truck pulps up behind him, and he's like, "No fucking way."
That would, yeah, I mean, it is a crazy coincidence.
Well, it also was on purpose, as we learn later. But,
what do you mean it's on purpose?
I feel like the guy was following Dexter, wasn't he?
Maybe. That'd be crazy.
I mean, why else would he throw a severed head at him?
Yeah, I guess that would make sense, huh? See, I See, this show doesn't really think that much, so I didn't think either. I was
I think
engaging
it's
it
the
on its own level.
It's true, the show does not think that much. And it's a marvel that it thinks even less as the show progresses. Less and less.
Oh, no. No, tell me it ain't so.
Luckily, we won't have to worry about that. But yeah, Dexter follows this truck. And he's not even hiding that he's following this truck. He's doing a very bad job at following. He's just straight up behind it the whole time. And this truck driver turns around and, like, throws a severed head out his window at Dexter. So Dexter calls the rest of the police force. And they're like, huh, wow. Crazy coincidence that happened to you. And he's like, yeah, what are you going to do? So he goes to his girlfriend's. His girlfriend's like, it's time to sex. And he's like, ooh, I'm not sure about sex. And she's like, let's do it. And he's like, okay. As he just, like, sort of sits there. Like, this lady's, like, about to take off her clothes. And he's like, cool.
Like the Perry Mason sex scene.
Yes. I mean, he's not getting, like, thrown onto, like, the corner of a bed. But
that was about to happen.
But yeah, that probably would have been what happened. One of her kids, she has kids, which I didn't explain, but she has little shit kids that we'll see more of, unfortunately. But one of them gets sick, and she's like, I guess I gotta go be a mom, and he's like, cool for me, no sex.
Like, that was weird.
The only human in existence to be happy to not have sex. That's not true, obviously, but
that's very not true. I'm going to need to apologize, Swanson.
But for the way, I mean, that's how the show portrays it, is that, like, Dexter's such a fucked up individual because he doesn't want to have sex.
Oh yeah, this is a Showtime show, by the way. Or is it Stars?
No, this is Showtime.
Yeah.
Was Stars a thing in 2006 in terms of making shows?
Probably
I don't know,
not.
but this was before Showtime's long-running history of keeping shows on the air until they were well out of relevance. Dexter was kind of one of the first ones, honestly, to run way too long. But yeah, he's like, the show does kind of make it feel like it's like, this guy's a sick outsider because he doesn't want to fuck. Can you believe it? A man who isn't into sex?
But even then, its inner monologue is like, that was interesting.
Yeah.
So I assume he does fuck later. Since he does have a kid in the new show that we already watched.
Yeah, spoilers, he does fuck this lady, actually, and have a kid with her.
That's crazy.
So he learns to fuck.
What a payoff.
That's his arc. His arc is that he learns how to have sex. It's like a coming-of-age story, but for a man who's like 30-something years old.
Yeah.
Not as good as killing, but he passed the time in the interim.
Also, we get my favorite flashback with his dad, where his dad's like, well, it seems like you have a thing for killing, and there's nothing we can do about it to change it. Which, if Dexter's 30 in like 2006, that's in the mid-'80s, so that tracks. Yeah. That they wouldn't think about getting any psychiatric help for him at all.
Well, all the places were being shut down because of budget cuts.
That's what I mean. It tracks.
Yeah. Like, just across the street is Joker dancing on the staircases.
Yeah. Oh, Joker versus Dexter.
Yeah.
He's sick and twisted, just like me. That's the joke.
It ends with them shaking hands.
Yeah, they agree to work together.
Yeah.
You think it's okay to kill people, Joker? Yes, I agree. Let's kill people together.
It ends like Metal Gear Solid 3 and Dexter takes on the title of Joker.
You've become Joker.
And is laughing at his grave. But sadly.
How do you sadly laugh?
Like the Joker does.
Ah! Yeah.
Okay. Fair. Asked and answered. Yeah, and his dad's like, there's nothing we can do for you except teach you how to kill respectfully. He's like, you gotta kill the right way. These are good murders.
These are clean murders. You can use your bloodlust for good. And that's the only thing we can do about it.
Yeah.
I want you to look at this picture.
I'm a good dad.
This man is Ronald Reagan.
Greatest thing that ever happened to this country.
He's going to be at the Los Angeles Library later today. Take this 22 and...
Yeah, unfortunately that's not Dexter's fate. Instead, he just, years later, is still out here murdering people.
Just randos.
Yeah. And yeah, he gets home and he finds a doll head on his refrigerator, and he's like, most people would be freaked out by this, but I see it as a game.
Challenge accepted.
Pretty much, and that's the end of the episode.
Yeah.
He's just like, time to play.
Also, we missed a brief scene at his supervisor kind of being horny for him.
Oh, yeah. He describes her small advances as a mating ritual. Which clues you into his thoughts on sex before he starts talking about it in detail.
This show's kind of Reddit, but I like it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, does it completely hold up 15 plus years later? No. No, not really. But I still think it's kind of fun. I think there's some fun. I think there's some good here in the... I would say this is a show where you crack open a cold one. Yeah, this is a show you crack open a cold one with the boys, and you sit down, you watch it, and you know what I call this show at the end of the day, Stare?
What?
Fucking diabolical.
Whoa.
That's right, isn't it?
It's fucking diabolical.
Fucking A.
But yeah,
you guys okay?
I think I would give it a light tune in for this one.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't describe this as a good show, but it was entertaining.
Yeah,
that's what really matters. It's like Atomic Train, I think, except without the 4-hour runtime.
Yes, true. In terms of like, I mean, I also thought the first episode of Bosch was like fine enough, but it does feel like this show. I mean, this first episode, a lot happens. Yes. Not all of it's good, but a lot does in fact happen.
In the end, that's all you can ask for.
I mean, I would prefer a show to have stuff happen in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now Dexter does get better. I don't know I don't remember if it gets better in the immediate episodes, but it does. But as like a start, way better than I thought it was going to hold up. That's for sure. So I guess that's a tune in for Dexter.
Yes.
Good work.
Yes.
Also, his dad's name is Harry, like Hieronymus Bosch.
Oh, that's crazy. How could they let this happen?
Can't believe it, man. Could you imagine if Dexter and Bosch had to like team up?
Would Bosch team up with Dexter?
Well, I mean, I assume that Dexter and Bosch might team up because like Dexter's a blood spatter analyst, and Bosch might be like, this guy, he's coming in from Miami. They say he knows what he's doing. I don't buy it.
He really likes blood. I wonder how much.
In my opinion, he's a bit of a sicko.
Yeah.
A bit of a pervert.
He has a conversation with Dokes where Dokes is like, I don't trust that fucker.
Yeah.
And Bosch is like,
that makes sense. And Dokes is just like, huh?
Yeah, he's like, someone actually listen to me?
That's a completely justifiable opinion.
I'd shoot him if I could get away with it.
Even if he was unarmed, I'd still shoot him.
That would be ideal, because then he couldn't shoot me. Which I
try to avoid every day. Yeah, it'd be interesting. Anyway, that's a tune in. This is, of course, a Buy Me a Coffee episode. You can get your own Buy Me a Coffee episodes by going over to buymeacoffee.com/TV Tuners.
Whoa.
A single episode gives you a single
revelation.
It is a big revelation to put at the end of the episode. It's sort of like a twist. Each coffee is a single episode for us to talk about anything you want. For instance, these episodes brought to you by J-Pop are 3 episodes on Dexter. So that's 1 down, 2 more to go.
What is J-Pop hiding?
What do you mean?
We'll find out in the 3rd episode of Dexter.
That's true, yeah. So yeah, that's about it for this week's episode of Dark Passenger. We'll be back next week for more murdering. Until then, keep being Dexter. Bye. It's over.
I found him.
Hey folks, it's time for the TV Tuners Fact of the Week. Did you know that Stairmaster has investigated and solved exactly 1 murder of his own father?
That's more than most people.